Britain in the 1970s was a nation of contradictions. Strikes silenced factories, fuel crises queued forecourts for miles, and the pound wavered daily. Yet inside this uncertainty, something remarkable happened. British engineers kept building saloons of extraordinary ambition, cars that carried families to work, executives to boardrooms, and a shrinking empire's pride onto the world stage. Some were flawed, some were troubled by industrial disputes, but everyone told a story of a country refusing to give up on the motor car. Today on Britain Rewind we are counting down 10 saloons that defined a decade, and the car at number 1 became a genuine luxury legend. Number 10. Triumph 2500 Pi. Number 10 takes us to Coventry and a saloon that joined what its own advertising proudly called the Power Elite. The Triumph 2500 Pi carried a fuel-injected 2.5-litre straight-six, derived from the unit found in the TR6 sports car, producing 132 brake horsepower and a genuine 111 mph top speed. Launched in updated Mark II form in 1969 and refined through the following years, its Michelotti styling shared the same graceful nose as the Triumph Stag, giving it real presence outside any golf club or country hotel. Inside, teak veneer and comprehensive instrumentation gave it a genuinely premium atmosphere many rivals struggled to match. The Lucas injection system, however, proved troublesome, prompting Triumph to introduce the simpler carbureted 2500s in 1975. Would you have trusted the fuel injection, or played it safer with twin carburetors? Either way, this remained a sturdy, characterful executive saloon right up until 1977. But the next car sold refinement in an entirely different, altogether sportier fashion. Number 9. Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Number 9 belongs to Triumph again, and to an engine that quietly rewrote the rules. The Dolomite Sprint arrived in summer 1973, and beneath its modest, conservative bodywork sat something genuinely groundbreaking. Engineer Harry Munday, the same man behind the Lotus Twin Cam, designed a 1998cc engine with 16 valves operated by a single overhead camshaft, the world's first mass-produced multivalve unit fitted to an ordinary saloon. It produced 127 brake horsepower, enough for a genuine 120 mph top speed and a 0 to 60 sprint under 9 seconds. Triumph even fitted GKN alloy wheels as standard, another British first. On winding roads it balanced beautifully, its steering light yet accurate, its cabin airy and thoroughly comfortable. Rivals from Munich took notice. Sadly, cost-cutting under British Leyland meant some internal components were skimped, and the Sprint's reputation suffered from overheating troubles that clever engineering alone could not fix. Yet its brilliance was undeniable. The next entry approached family motoring in a completely different way entirely. Number 8. Hillman Hunter. The Hillman Hunter, launched by the Roots Group in 1966, carried a conventional 1725cc overhead valve engine, McPherson strut front suspension, and styling penned by William Townes, who later shaped the Aston Martin Lagonda. Nothing about it was revolutionary. That was precisely the point. In 1968, a virtually standard Hunter, driven by Scottish farmer Andrew Cohen, won the grueling 10,000-mile London to Sydney Marathon outright, astonishing rivals with far greater rallying pedigree, including the Citroën DS. Sales soared overnight across Britain and the Commonwealth. Throughout the 1970s the Hunter remained a familiar sight on British roads, offered as the sportier GT and the twin-carburetor GLS producing 107 brake horsepower. Chrysler UK eventually absorbed the Roots badge entirely. Would you have trusted this humble saloon over flashier rivals? Its true legacy, remarkably, still endures today. But the seventh car on our list wore a very different kind of prestige. Number 7. Wolseley 6. The Wolseley 6 arrived in 1972, the final six-cylinder flowering of a name that had graced British bonnets since the earliest days of motoring. Built on the ADO-17 Landcrab platform, it carried a 2227cc straight-six engine mounted transversely, an unusual layout for a six-cylinder unit, paired with the innovative Hydrogas suspension system that gave genuinely supple, wafting comfort across Britain's crumbling roads. Inside, plush velour replaced the leather of earlier models, yet refinement remained impressively high for a car built to a tightening budget. Its shrunken traditional grille and illuminated badge still promised old-world Wolseley prestige, even as British Leyland's chaos closed in around the mark. By 1970 the 6 stood as its sole survivor. Would your family have chosen tradition over modernity? The famous badge vanished entirely by October 1975. But the story of Wolseley's stablemates was far from finished at number 6. Number 6. Austin Morris 1800 Landcrab. Austin Morris 1800 is a saloon Sir Alec Isigonis, creator of the Mini, considered his finest hour as a designer. The Austin and Morris 1800, launched in 1964 and carried firmly into the 1970s through its Mark III form, earned the affectionate nickname Landcrab thanks to its unusual width and squat, sideways stance. Beneath the divisive Pininfarina-influenced bodywork lay genuine engineering brilliance. Hydroelastic suspension linked front and rear displacer units through fluid-filled pipes, giving a small car's footprint the settled, level ride quality of something far larger and grander. Legroom in the rear genuinely rivaled a Rolls-Royce. Power came from an MGB-derived 1.8-litre pushrod engine, never quick, yet dependable, while all-independent suspension gave genuinely sure-footed handling for the era. It even performed creditably in the 1970 London to Mexico World Cup Rally. Production ended in 1975 after roughly 386,000 units. Did your family value space and comfort over outright glamour? If you're enjoying this journey through Britain's motoring history, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more classic British automotive stories. Number 5. Daimler Sovereign and 66. Daimler Sovereign and, from 1972, the magnificent 66 shared Jaguar's XJ platform entirely, yet wore Britain's oldest surviving car mark, one that had supplied royalty since the Edwardian era. The 66 carried Jaguar's extraordinary 5.3-litre V12, an engine so smooth it felt almost turbine-like, and briefly made this the fastest four-door saloon in the world at 140 miles per hour. Inside sat deep leather, thick walnut veneer, and a fluted grille distinguishing it instantly from its Jaguar sibling. British Leyland's industrial chaos still cast a shadow, with build quality wavering across the decade despite the sublime engineering underneath. Nevertheless, for company chairmen and discerning buyers who wanted quiet exclusivity over Jaguar's sportier image, nothing else came close. Would this understated elegance have tempted you over its badge mate? One car, however, was about to define an entirely new category. Number 4. Rover SD1. Rover SD1 is the car that many enthusiasts still call the poor man's Ferrari. The Rover SD1 arrived on the 30th of June, 1976, and its sleek 5-door fastback silhouette, styled by David Bacon drawing inspiration from the Ferrari Daytona, bore no resemblance whatsoever to its dignified predecessor, the P6. Beneath the bonnet sat a 3.5-litre V8 producing 155 brake horsepower, giving genuinely rapid performance wrapped in a shape unlike anything else on British roads at the time. In 1977 it was crowned European Car of the Year, a genuine triumph for a company mired in industrial strife. Police forces adopted it enthusiastically for high-speed patrol work, while television audiences recognized it instantly from the professionals. Sadly, poor door seals, patchy paint, and inconsistent build quality tarnished its reputation throughout production. Legendary racer Raymond Mays called it the finest car he ever owned. Would you have forgiven its flaws for that dramatic silhouette? Number 3. Vanden Plas 1500. Number 3 takes a small family saloon and dresses it as a country gentleman. The Vanden Plas 1500 arrived in 1974, essentially an Austin Allegro underneath, yet transformed with a traditional upright grille, walnut veneer dashboard, Wilton carpeting, and softly padded leather seating crafted at the specialist Kingsbury Works. This was badge engineering at its most charming, taking a car many critics openly dismissed and elevating it into something genuinely special for buyers who wanted small car practicality with old-fashioned British craftsmanship throughout. Its 1.5-litre engine offered modest performance, but that was never really the point. The Vanden Plas name traced its heritage back to hand-built coachwork for royalty and aristocracy, and every 1500 carried that lineage proudly, however humble its underpinnings. Production continued steadily throughout the late 1970s before transferring to Abingdon in 1979. The mark itself finally closed in 1980. Would you have chosen quiet distinction over outright pace? Now only 2 saloons remain, and both were true legends. Number 2. Jaguar XJ6. Jaguar XJ6 is where this countdown reaches genuine motoring royalty. The Jaguar XJ6, launched in September 1968 under Sir William Lyons himself, defined the entire decade that followed. Powered by the twin-cam XK straight 6 in 2.8-litre and later 4.2-litre forms, it replaced Jaguar's entire confusing saloon range with a single, perfectly resolved design. Critics named it Car of the Year at launch, praising handling that echoed the E-Type sports car within a genuinely comfortable saloon body. The Series 2 arrived in 1973 with revised bumpers and a new dashboard, while build quality wavered under British Leyland's troubled ownership and constant industrial disputes. Even so, nothing dulled the fundamental brilliance underneath. Owners loved its taut suspension, light steering, and effortless motorway refinement. Would any 6-cylinder rival ever truly match this blend of pace and comfort? One badgemate, however, went even further, adding 6 more cylinders and an entirely new level of ambition. Number 1. Jaguar XJ12. And so we reach number 1. Jaguar XJ12 is the saloon that became Britain's true luxury legend. Building on the XJ6's brilliant foundation, Jaguar introduced the 5.3-litre V12 in 1972, an engine so silky smooth it felt almost turbine-like beneath the bonnet. This transformed the XJ12 into the fastest 4-door saloon in the world, capable of 140 miles per hour with a refinement no rival could touch. The Series 2 arrived in 1973, followed by the dramatically restyled Series 3 in 1979, penned in part by Pininfarina with a higher roofline and flush door handles. British Leyland's turmoil brought inconsistent build quality throughout, yet nothing could dim the XJ12's fundamental genius. It became the default choice for company chairmen, ambassadors, and anyone who wanted effortless power wrapped in genuine British elegance. Decades later, it remains the car every single entry on this list was ultimately measured against, the true luxury legend of 1970s Britain. That completes our countdown through Britain's greatest 1970s saloons, 10 cars that carried a struggling nation through strikes, fuel shortages, and industrial upheaval, yet never once lost sight of genuine engineering pride. From humble Hillmans to the sublime Jaguar XJ12, each one tells its own chapter of British motoring history. Some triumphed, others stumbled, but all of them mattered. Which of these 10 would you have parked on your driveway back then? Did your family own one, or dream of one? Tell us in the comments below, and share your own memories with us. See you next time in another Britain Rewind Countdown.